Before I actually... Alright. Are we on? So... Merry Christmas, everyone! Tonight, I'm doing something a bit unprecedented. I am actually going to be gifting surprise traded starters. Just to give you an idea, here they are, 1 box each. For those who want the cat that will eventually stand up, the crocodile that basically becomes a crocodile, and the duck that becomes a peacock. Actually, I have a second box of those, but I don't really know if I'll send those right now. Besides these 3 boxes, there's another box that I'm saving as a surprise. Yeah, a surprise within a surprise. I chose now to do this because it's Christmas. I imagine a lot of people have already gotten their Scarlet and Violets on. So without further ado, I guess while I'm doing this, I can talk about all of the Pokemon that were added. I'll start with the starters, naturally. I'm only covering the new Pokemon for obvious reasons. And yeah. Alright, first one, appropriately, is the cat. Rigatito, Floragato, and Meowscarada. Needless to say, the cat stood up. Although it becomes a magician now. Oh! I don't know if other people had the same idea that I did, but what a funny coincidence. Anyway, let's keep moving on. The cat stood up, became a grass dark type. Unfortunately. Wait, that was quick. Alright. The cat stood up, eventually gets a dark type, becomes especially vulnerable to U-turns and first impressions. And it's the fastest of the trio, with a guaranteed critical hit move. Grass Dark. Yeah, it's an awkward... I wouldn't call it a bad offensive typing. It's just that first impression and U-turn are bothersome. And then... oh yeah, its hidden ability is the type-changing one, Protean. Unfortunately, it got nerfed in this generation. Probably has something to do with the terrestrialization. It used to activate every time you use the move with a different type. It changes the type. Meaning, Escarada can get rid of its bothersome Grass Dark typing. And if I recall, it has a fairly wide move pool, allowing it... I don't think it's as wide as Greninja's or Cinderace's move pools. I don't remember. But I think it should still be a decent set. Then, the Fire Crocodile. Fuecoco. And what was the other one? Crocalord, the one with the sombrero. And it's one of those Pokemon that drastically changes from one stage to another. It becomes a cute derpy Pokemon to... Of course, someone sends me a Delibird. Where was I? Otogel. Sounds German. Anyway, I keep digressing. Anyway, Fuecoco is a derpy crocodile. It evolves into Then a slightly bigger crocodile with a nested egg that hilariously resembles a sombrero. But then it loses the derp and actually becomes a fantastic looking starter. Skeledirge. And its typing is also excellent for a playthrough of Scarlet or Violet, the Fire Ghost type. It actually covers a lot of types. And it's also a solid defensive type. Skeledirge is also the only one of the trio that's specifically geared for special attacking. See what I did there? But it's also bulky and on the slow side. And if I understand correctly, speaking of. Anyway, Skeledirge. It gets the ability Unaware, which I feel actually helps with its bulk, since it ignores the enemy's attack boosts. If I understand it correctly, it also ignores the attack boosts, the defense boosts. So it's also good for its offense. The signature move is Torch Song. It raises the special attack, and since it's a sound move, it synergizes well with the Throat Spray item. A single Torch Song plus the Throat Spray. That's pretty much doubled special attack, which is really good for it. Fantastic overall, and I feel its shiny is the best of the three. Going into a vivid pink purple, fuchsia, I guess. Ooh, a Larvesta. The next one is the last of the three starters. Quaxley, Quaxwell, and Quackaval. I'm not sure if that's how it's actually pronounced. Maybe it's Quackwaval. But I think it's Quackaval. It's surprisingly well balanced, but its highest stat is its physical attack. And its signature move is a speed booster. Decent damage with the speed boost, and combined with its hidden ability Moxie, get a kill with Aqua Step, and it's pretty much the same as using a Dragon Dance. And it's Mousehold. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the duck eventually becomes a peacock. I can show it now. Yeah, it becomes fabulous instead. The peacock tails expand during battle, and it does a samba step, a salsa step. Basically a dancer. I forgot to mention also that Skeledirge becomes a singer. So the starters are themed after performers. With the starters out of the way, the chunk! To most of the Spanish-speaking people, they were laughing at lechon. The English speakers had a fun time with chunk instead. And the Pokemon it evolves to Oinkolon, one of the few Pokemon with gender differences. And not just any gender difference. They're practically different Pokemon. Stats change, the abilities change. It's a bit on the S side, though. It's basically the Rattata of Paldea. Then I have a list on a different website. I guess we can talk about the bugs next. Not the glitches, the bug types. First is the spider, tarantula, and spidops. They're also they're kind of Cat for a cat. I hope this one's a foreign language. Of course, it's Nyauha. Nyaumata. Anyway, nothing to say about Idops. It's basically the cricket tune. Other bug type that's found in the early roots is actually a pretty interesting one. Nimble and low kicks. Low kicks is grass dark type, and it's literally a common rider. It has a stripe on its midsection that resembles a belt, or in this case a driver. One of its strongest moves is a rider kick variation. And its shiny is Kamen Rider 01. Yellow body with red eyes. Pretty cool, and its stats actually are geared for physical attacking. Unlike Pidopsis' confused tanking S. Next on the list is the Palmy evolution line. Yeah, the Pikachu clone evolves this time. Gen 2's clone was the pre-evolution Pichu. Gen 3 had Plusle and Minun to feature double battles. Gen 4 had Seijun Park's partner Pachirisu. You don't know him, he's well-known Pokemon player. One of the world champions. Generation 5 had a Worst Squirrel. It's basically I don't even remember. And back to Palmy. It evolves into an electric fighting type. And its evolution method. First the evolution normal, but Palmo to Palmot. It's one of the few Pokemon that requires using the Let's Go feature. The one where you let your more cat to cat. Let's go. I like it. I like Palmot. A lot of people don't like... I think there are people who don't like it because it just stands up. Palmy basically just stands up. Oh, wrong Sprigatito. Anyway, Palmot. When it evolves fully into Palmot, its palms kinda look like Iron Man repulsors, but they're more like defibrillators. So instead, it's more for reviving. On that topic, it's one of only 2 Pokemon to get the new Revival Blessing move. Being able to revive your Pokemon without having to use an item is a really big thing. Aw, Waffles. Why not just call it Waffle then? Anyway, I'm going to be looking at their abilities too. Right next, Sprigatito. This I'll be halfway done. Palmot's cute, and it has a really good shiny. A rose-like color. In one of my older streams, I kind of recall I tried naming the shiny Palmot I have Rosette with an E at the end. But for some reason, I don't know why it's considered a swear word, a profanity, a banned word, but I had to remove the second E. For some reason, that worked. Next is Tandemouse and Mousehold. Kind of weird that two Pokemon constantly together would be considered a single entity instead of just making it a 3-stage evolution. The first one is just single awareness mouse. The middle stage could be the tandem mouse, the couple. And the way that tandem mouse evolves is kind of funny. First things first, level 25 at least. And then you need to level it up while it's in your party. If it's not in the top spot, it kind of evolves off screen. That's the first time that I know of I've seen that happen. A Pokemon evolving without any kind of without having any kind of screen show up. It's funny. You know what's also funny? Population Bomb. 10 hits. Ooh, a Taurus? I don't think I've seen had the Blaze breed appreciated. But yeah. Asshole is funny. The Pokédex claims it. No one knows where these little ones came from. If you want to know how those little ones came to be, we'd have to raise the age rating. Same reason why all those Pokemon daycares claim, we don't know where this egg came from, but would you like to have it? It just came out of nowhere. I mean, Heart Gold and Soul Silver had the whole Arceus had to literally create a new universe, make the eggs of Dialga, and or Giratina. I wonder if that happens on a massive scale. Every time pair Pokemon need to breed, Arceus just creates a miniature singularity. But theories aside, who's next on the chopping board? Fido and Doxbun. It's probably Doxbun, but it's fun to say it fully German. Fido is unbaked bread, Doxbun is baked. And because it's baked, it actually gets a fire type immunity. Neat. There are 3 new dog Pokemon introduced, and I'd say this one's somewhere in the middle. It's cute. Next up is Smoliv. The other joke name alongside Lechonk, but it kinda, much like Lechonk, it gets a bit beefier. Dolliv is also cute. Actually, like the name implies, it's like a doll. Arboliva, the olive wreath. Grass normal's awkward to use, but its ability is basically terrain setting, grassy terrain. Don't know if it gets terrain pulse. Not that you'd want to use it, because there are other grass type options, stuff like Giga Drain for survivability. I was considering using Arboliva instead of Toedscruel, but I like the ground type coverage. And speaking of ground types, not yet. Squawkabilly. Eh, I'm not too fond of Squawkabilly. It's an Pokemon. Basically, the only thing it seems to be used for is justifying why Corviknight isn't the taxi's Pokemon of choice. But with the Tinkatons all smacking Corviknights out of the sky, I guess they needed something else. If Skarmory shows up in the DLC, I wonder if its Pokédex entries will feature mention Tinkaton. It's another steel flying type, and Tinkaton basically just wants to harvest all the steel. More on Tinkaton later, though. Squawkabilly's weird. I actually don't like it. Now for one that's actually a really interesting concept. It's the Knuckly line. For some reason, when I say Knuckle Stack, I have to say it with that kind of accent. Knuckle Stack. I can't just say Knuckle Stack. Knuckle Stack. I don't know, it just seems fun. Garganacl. It's a really interesting idea. Purifying Salt is a really good one. Notification sound without the bar. Okay. A tame glitch. Anyway, Garganacl. Really bulky. And people really like its Salt Cure ability. Its attack. It's basically similar to Curse. Damage over time. And the effect is stronger when used against a water or steel type. Water because the moisture is being drained. And steel, I guess, oxidation, rusting. And its ability, Purifying Salt, is also a neat nod to all of those salt throwing rituals in the Asian countries. With salt and superstitions, the East has the clearing demons, while the West has the whole spilling salt bad luck. Right. Is... Oh, I'm gonna love this. The next one is the Shark Cadet line. I have to stop saying it like shark. I blame Gundam for this. Anyway, Shark Cadet. I did it again. Do not forget it. I say cilantro, Cilan as in cilantro, not silent. I say Lysandre, not Lysander. Whoever thought of that pronunciation was drunk. Anyway, Shark Cadet. Really love the evolution line. Armor Rouge. Fire Psychic isn't too useful, I guess. At least not compared to Sacrilegious Fire Ghost. It's slightly slower, and its signature move weakens it. Now Sacrilegious, its signature move helps with its survivability. It's a It's a really good life draining move. And again, it's the fire ghost type, which is a really potent combination. For some reason, just noticed that several of my favorite Pokemon are fire type. Yet I'm not overly fond of the heat. Anyway, target deadline is Goat. Really good. Next is a bunch of electric types. First is Belly Bolt, the Poketuber's ace, if we're not counting her Terastallized Miss Mages. And never used it, but I'm not sure if it's kind of cute. It's weird, but I'm looking at the stats and it's really bulky. Really pretty good. I'm not sure how much of an impact Electromorphosis would do, but it's actually a serviceable tank. But the electric type I chose was Kilowattrel. I seem to like the faster mons in general. Electric flying type is really good. And Kilowattrel also gets access to stuff like U-turn, making it good for maintaining some form of pressure. The Kilowattrel I used had Volt Absorb and a Modest Nature, which were pretty much perfect. Here it is. And I gave it a King's Rock because I wanted to be cheeky with U-turn and Air Slash. Air Slash because it already has a chance of flinching, and U-turn because it's generally annoying to... If it flinches, you basically get a free switch in. And it helps to break the sturdy. Actually like Kilowattrel, if you haven't noticed. And next up on the list, I'm using Cerebee's list, by the way. It's been organized into Pokedex order. Next is Best New Doggo, Abostiff. For anyone who's already played up to Path of Legends, you already know why. Okay, I've already gotten through all of the Sprigatitos. Let's see. A bunch of Japanese, a bunch of German, a few Chinese, a Spanish one. From this list, I've gotten a lot of German and Japanese. Japanese makes sense, at least. Alright, next would be the Fuecocos. And next on my list is Shroodle and Grafaiai. I'm not too much into the competitive scene, but it's weird. I'm not sure what to make of it. It's fast, it's frail. Not much to say. Unburden might have worked if the flying gem was still a thing. It could run acrobatics. Probably could have run acrobatics to make it even stronger and get the speed boost. Alright, this one is Male Combi. Poor thing. Bramblin the tumbleweed. Grass ghost. It's the same type as Decidueye and Delmice, if I recall. It's one of the other Pokemon that requires a Let's Go count to evolve. It's yet another now it's the reverse. A croc for a cat. Now it's a cat for a croc. Anyway. Bramblegast. It seems to be on a similar speed and power tier to Cerulege and Akaval. Would have been fine, but the ghost type overlaps. Windrider's an interesting ability though. Paired up with a Tailwind and it'll actually get to do some work. Next up on the list is my grass type of choice, Toedscool and Toedscruel. They're kind of funny. I've seen the videos of Toedscool just running around. And Toedscruel just hops around. I might shiny hunt it because it actually looks cool. And unlike with Tentacool and Tentacruel, it's a distinct change. One thing I'm sad about with Toedscruel is its Mycelium Might. It's underwhelming. And that's its only ability. Not even a hidden ability like Effect Spore. Mycelium Might allows you to pierce through status blocking abilities. Stuff that Garganacl and Goldango would block. Insomnia would block Spore. I wonder why. I've only really used Spore and Stun Spore for catching the legendaries. So the ability is garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Next up is Cloth. And Cloth, it's on the rather ugly side. Sorry. And again, crabs are already look kind of alien and ugly. So I don't have much to say about Cloth. Unlike with the first grass fire type Skull villain, it's an interesting concept. And the way it evolved, the way it goes about, really creepy. And I'm not sure if having it be a mixed attacker a good idea. Another weird thing I've thought about was its pre-evolved form, Capsicid. For some reason, it kind of looks like a Kappa to me. Like, the thing on top looks like a dish. Return to sender. So, just to avoid confusion, this one is a traded for Coco. Anyway, Rellor and Rabska. Oh, another bug psychic type. Another slow bug psychic type. But again, it's a neat idea. Patterned after dung beetles and scarabs. And because scarabs have this whole mythology around them in Egypt, this is the only other Pokemon to get Revival Blessing. And I've seen Rellor's shiny and it's really good. The dung ball becomes a nugget of gold instead. Oh, thanks for the Persian. Where was I? Oh yeah. The dung ball becomes golden. I'm a bit sad that Rabska's dung ball doesn't change at all. But I like how... But the gold scarab is a nice touch. Next on the list would be Little and Espathra, going from one Egyptian-themed mon to another. I was actually considering using an Espathra as my psychic type, but I guess I also wanted to use Farigiraf, whatever. Not again. Another crocodile, another Fuecoco. Where was I? Yeah. Espathra. I guess I wanted to have a bulkier Pokemon. Just in case. But Espathra's fast. But frail. I'm not sure if I could use Opportunist very well. Stat boosts aren't exactly common for NPCs. I have an Espathra on my B team though. Oh, thanks for the Galarian Meowth! Unfortunately, it's one without Metal Worker. Alright. From the Cleopatra Ostrich to one of the best Pokemon. No questions asked. Tinkatink, Tinkatuff, and Tinkaton. These things are both disturbing and incredibly funny. Tinkatuff scares away Poniards and Bisharps. And Tinkaton basically golf swings Corviknights out of the sky. Oh, and speaking of Tinkatink, thanks for the Tinkatink. So, Moldbreaker. On the topic of Tinkaton, this is mine. A lot of people named theirs after Amy Rose or something. I chose to use that as well, but instead of Amy, I'm using an Emperor's New Groove reference. No one where he goes, ha ha ha! I'll smash him with a hammer! It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant! Genius, I say! Yeah, because that's Tinkaton's shtick. Smash it with the Gigaton hammer. The one thing letting Tinkaton down is its crap attack stat. But I guess that's to prevent another Zacian incident. That one's also a Fairy Steel type. And it pretty much broke Sword and Shield competitive. So I guess its mediocre attack stat is a successful attempt to rein it in. Rein the typing in, and rein in Gigaton Hammer. Really fantastic Pokemon. Wiglet and Wug Trio. It's weird. And its ability doesn't make... Its abilities are kind of bad, besides Sandveil, I guess? Sandveil would be its hidden ability. But Wiglet and Wug Trio, both of their regular abilities revolve around taking hits, which they clearly cannot if they shared the same stats as Diglett and Dug Trio. Or a luxurious Sharkadet. I won't bother correcting my pronunciation anymore. Bombardier. It's basically an evil stork. Instead of delivering babies, it delivers rocks. And if you're particularly unlucky, those rocks will be really strong thanks to its rocky payload hidden ability. On a side note, the Titan Bombardier has that as its ability, so it's neat. It's a fun concept. And speaking of fun concepts, Finizen and Palafin. I remember those stories of people trying to find out, hey, how does the dolphin evolve into this overly broken walking comic book reference? They were trying to level it up, they were trying to basically be Avengers, but it's just level 38 in a Union Circle. Who would have thought? Not the most obtuse evolution method. I mean, Galarian Yamask had that whole take this amount of damage without fainting and then bring this damaged Yamask over to this arch thing. Then it will be corrupted into a into a Runerigus. It's not that obtuse. But back to Palafin. It's stupidly powerful. Water type, it gets a powerful priority move. The only drawback is that it has to switch out first before it can go all Superman. But when it goes Superman, it pretty much decimates anything. Combine that with Drain Punch and Ice Punch and it's really difficult to counter. Even when it's not yet all jacked up, Palafin's already pretty fast and surprisingly bulky. So when it does manage to find the local phone booth, kinda goes nuts. It's a nuts Pokemon and I'm all in for it. Varoom and Revavroom. Engine Pokemon. I'm sure someone was making a joke when they decided that Varoom should get the worst ability as its hidden ability. Slow Start. Another cat for Crocodile. Anyway, Slow Start. The thing that made Regigigas the butt of all jokes. I can't. If I just look up. For Varoom, it's. It cannot start up properly, so it has to. It's like a broken engine, unfortunately. Thankfully, the hidden ability changes when it evolves. It's a Steel Poison type, which is also cool. Another fairy counter, but with ground types. Then again, I guess that's a trade-off for the fairy resistances. I don't think there's a fairy ground type yet, so when that shows up, oh man. Cyclizar. I didn't get into the Cyclizar hype. A lot of people were using it because it's a dragon type. Pretty strong one too. Probably because I already had my team set up from the beginning. In fact, I've already talked about 5 of them. But anyway, Cyclizar. It seems its main gimmick would be shed tail substitutes while regenerating its health in the process. But other than that, it's a bit eh. Orthworm. Orthworm is the literal Alaskan bullworm. And I'm actually talking about all these Pokemon because I kind of want to fill in the dead air. Sorry if I'm talking awkwardly. That's just who I am. And my brain to mouth filter isn't exactly the best. Sometimes I speak too quickly and sometimes I speak fully. Not to mention, I end up stuttering because I end up backspacing a bit. Anyway, Orthworm. Orthworm is the Alaskan bullworm, complete with Wiggler-style arms. A steel type that has the ability to suck up ground type moves is a pretty good idea. It's cute in a weird way. The only thing remarkable about it is its defense. Otherwise, it's eh. Glimmet and Glimora. Definitely an interesting set. Glimora is surprisingly bulky. I guess it has to be so that it can set up its Toxic spikes. And of course it also gets Stealth Rocks. With Glimora, you want to start with it so you can set up the entry hazards. It's definitely an interesting one. Next on the list is Revarden Houndstone. The weakest of the 3 dogs. For me personally, I like Red Dog and Injured Doggo more. It's another weird one. Revard is a lonely dog and Houndstone, for some reason, is an over-affectionate dog. Make up your mind. I hear all the jazz about last respects being broken in competitive. Combining that with Sandbrush. But again, I don't play competitive, so I don't know. Probably talking out of my ass. Next, after those 2 is Flamigo. A surprising thing to talk about because it's just a flamingo. And somehow it's more powerful than a lot of other Pokemon. Its stats are similar to Quackaval's too. A focus on attack with decent speed. Both of them are fighting types too, so let's see. It was a error trade. It's really funny. Amigo. One of the most generic looking Pokemon happens to be absurdly broken. I don't think I'll get a chance to try Co-Star ability. But if it pairs, seen the trick with Tatsugiri and Dondozo. And it's kind of scary. I'll be talking about those two in a short while. Ug ugly squirrel time. Set Toddle and Set Titan. I expected Set Titan would get a pre-evolution, and I was right. Ice type is... Pure Ice type is difficult to work with. Not exactly defensive despite of Set Titan's bulk. Slush Rush could be useful in a snow team, I guess. Veluza. This thing's weird. Its behavior is weird. And a bit disturbing at the same time. I mean, Veluza mutilates itself to essentially become faster and stronger. And another thing with Veluza that's also funny. The fillets that it casts off, the mutilated bits, those are still apparently edible. Don't know the logistics of it, 5-second rule and all that crap. But, yeah, it's perfectly edible and apparently delicious. There's probably Veluza sushi. And before I forget, Bolting Veluza! That is a weird one. And I guess I can get to Dondozo and Tatsugiri. I figured talking about them together would be appropriate since the two are basically a team. Tatsugiri gives Dondozo a power boost. Dondozo can make its stats better depending on which Tatsugiri entered its mouth. And I also mentioned that Veluza synergy a while ago. The Flamigo synergy a while ago. Another fun concept. The idea of a boss and a lackey hunting together. Alright, that's all of the new regular Pokemon. I guess we can talk about the new evolutions. Annihilate. Primeape got so angry that it died. And it said, "Death won't be the end of me." And basically went all Rajang. That would be a terrifying monster hunter idea. Even though you hunt the Rajang, it still wants to hunt you down, and it becomes a variant of some kind. Anyway, Annihilate. Alarmingly bulky, synergizes well with Rage Fist, and it's a power boost that won't reset. Nice. I guess it's nice that the Mankey line gets some representation. Okay. Clodsire. This Paldean derp. It's a derp. All in for it. It was actually my ground type I used before switching to Toedscruel. I wonder if I should have kept Clodsire instead. It has a water immunity. It doesn't fall to an ice shard immediately. Oh ho ho! Wasn't expecting that. I'll be talking about these particular Pokemon in quite a bit. But they're fascinating. Back to Clodsire. It's a derp. Water Absorb is fantastic for its survivability. It's really good at tanking. But I guess it's also a physical attacker, which I noticed this, but there are a lot of physical attackers in Paldea. Or maybe it's my team composition that's a problem. I guess it's fine for me to admit if my team's... I was focusing on the physical special balance, as well as type coverage. For the purposes of the in-game battles, this is actually a good setup. The only thing it's missing is Dragon, I believe. And that's all of my Fuecocos. Quite a few EVs. Quite a few returns to sender. Let's see. A lot of Japanese, that's for sure. A few French. And a Paradox Pokemon. Oh, and about these Quaxley. Some of these will have the Moxie ability. My Quackavolt had the ability patch applied, so it gets Moxie. And I'm a bit sad I forgot to ability patch my Masquerada and Skeledirge, so that the baby forms would get the hidden abilities as well. I guess that's something too late. Next would be the Quaxleys. Might do only one box. The other box I'll trade off screen. Next, alright, back to my thoughts on the Pokemon. Paragiraffe is a really cool idea. I'm looking at the stats right now, and I'm surprised that it's not exactly bulky. Its HP is fantastic, and its special attack is really good, as expected from an evolved form. For ability choice, I would definitely go for Armor Tail, because that shuts up any first impressions and sucker punches. Really good. It's actually a good Pokemon. And it's my psychic type of choice. The one I got had normal Terrastallas, which is funny, but it worked when I was fighting Rhyme. Next on the list is the Dunsparce. What is it going to evolve into? Dun dun dun! Sparse? Next. Although for that it would probably require raising the character limit to 15. I think it would be overwhelming coming up with 15 character names. But anyway. The Dunsparce is funny. It's basically just stretching out a Dunsparce, adding a segment, actually making its stats good. It's funny. Next on the list is King Gambit. Bisharp's evolution. It's another obtuse evolution method. Basically, you have to use it to defeat 3 other Bisharp. But the Bisharp have to be surrounded by Pawniards in order to count. I cannot imagine the future evolution methods. How obtuse, how obscure they can be. I don't think it can top stuff like invert the 3DS or make your Pokemon take damage and walk under a certain arch. Anyway, King Gambit. The upgrade Bisharp needed. Oh, an Umbreon. Awfully generous. Well, I guess it's Christmas, so... King Gambit. Defiant and Supreme Overlord. Supreme Overlord is one of those aura-style abilities. The stat boost doesn't show up on the status screen. Now that I think about it, I think Defiant would be better than Supreme Overlord in a competitive setting. Defiant is a stat boost that punishes Intimidate. I cannot pronounce that for the love of me. Alright, King Gambit is the last of the cross-generation evolutions. Next, I think I've already talked about the Paradox Pokemon. Root Bonnet, Great Tusk is the Mastodon focus of Donphan. Root Bonnet is Primitive Fungus. Screamtail is a violent Jigglypuff. Sandy Shocks is weird. I'm sorry, I am running out of things to say. I am deeply sorry. I think I've already talked about the Paradox Pokemon while I was hunting them. I guess next would be... Or maybe was it just the shinies? Anyway. The pseudo-legendary is... another Godzilla. This time it's an Ice Dragon type. Excalibur. Excalibur, I think, looks more like Godzilla than Tyranitar. Apparently, one of its moves is also a Godzilla reference. But I don't think I've seen that particular Godzilla movie, it's probably one of the older ones. But yeah, Excalibur hits really hard. If you try to Will-O-Wisp it, it will probably fail, thanks to its thermal exchange. Not exactly the fastest, but the thing's bulky anyway, so it can shrug it off no problem. Next on the list is Goldengo. All those Gimmighouls scattered around, they're the key. You need 999 coins. You need a chest form Gimmigoul to move the treasure to. And then you need to level it up so that the Gimmigoul can take in all the gold and become a surprisingly, maybe not unsurprisingly given how difficult getting a Golden Go is. But it's really powerful. Steel Ghost is a powerful type combination. And its ability is one of the best. Probably one of the top 5. Blocks all statuses. So if you want to inflict a status condition, you have to actually attack it. You cannot just inflict it. You have to break through it with Mold Breaker at least, but it's a surprisingly fast special attacker, which is rare for a steel type. And back to Gimmighoul, it's really good in raid battles because the raid opponents tend to have annoying stuff like Thunder Wave, Yawn, a stat dropping move. Yeah, Gimmighoul just laughs at it all. I mean Golden Go, not Gimmighoul. That the remaining Pokemon are the legendaries. I've talked about them last time. But in a nutshell, no, I don't want to do one of those. But yeah, they're a fascinating group of legendary Pokemon. If you want to learn more about them, I would recommend taking up the history classes in the academy. It's actually a good read. After the legendaries would be Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant. I have to process things a bit. Sorry about the pause. I was catching my thoughts. But anyway, I've already talked about those two as well. So I guess that leaves Koraidon and Miraidon. Some people think that those two shouldn't be considered legendaries. They're more like souped up paradoxes. But yeah, they're around, they're legendary, they're really powerful, especially in the raids. I've talked about how they have access to the respective life-draining attacks, making them really good for those situations. Their signature moves have the effect of dealing even more damage on super effective, making them especially dangerous. So yeah, they're... I cannot talk. Can I not talk? Anyway. I guess that's my opinion on all the new Pokemon. I've already talked about the paradoxes and the legendaries, so I skipped them over. So I guess now is Dead Air. Anyway, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you're enjoying the Paldea region like I am. Oh, my next projects. Once January comes around, I'll probably do the Cinderace raid. Again, I'm afraid of what kind of moves it'll get. Probably not wise to use a Sylveon this time. Its Libero ability will be nullified by the whole terrestrialization, so it's not too much of a problem. But because it has a really varied move pool, it'll take a while before a suitable counter would be good. I mean, considering all of the Belly Drum Azumarils floating around. I imagine they're gonna give Cinderace Gunk Shot in order to bait using steel types. But be thinking about which Pokemon would best work for the situation. Again, if it gets if they give it Gunk Shot, that's gonna be a really big problem. After the Cinderace raid, it won't be Pokemon coverage anymore. I'll be tackling the anomaly quests in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Gotta get my anomaly rank to 120 so I can play with the augment roulette. And around that time, they'll probably talk about the DLC, the next update, another Risen Elder Dragon in the works, as well as a completely new battle. I wonder though if it's gonna be a completely new monster or if it's something returning. Whatever the case, it's gonna be an interesting thing to see. No matter what. And mid-January, there will also be Fire Emblem Engage. I'll be doing a playthrough of that, definitely. That would mean the first half of January is just gonna be Sunbreak stuff. And then the latter half will be Fire Emblem and Monster Hunter. And more Monster Hunter when the update drops. Anyway, now that I've talked about it, dead air. And I'll be back. I have things to do. First, then I'll continue the trades. Alright, I'm back. Just had to use the toilet. Anyway, a couple more Quaxleys, and then seek the secret fourth box. And I'm frustrated a bit. First off, I was going through a few teeny weeny bits of major psychological damage. Because Christmas is hell for workers. But secondly, it's a more general frustration. Again, the words tend to not come out the way I want them to. I tend to speak too fast, I think. And sometimes I have to backpedal when I speak too fast. Sometimes I think too slow, I lose the words. All the stuff that makes me feel awkward. But I'm trying my best here. For one, I'm helping with the Christmas spirit by sending starters to everyone. Some get lucky, others don't. That's how the world unfortunately works. A Morgrem. Impidimp Impidimp Line's color scheme is quite wild. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Merry Christmas again. Whoever receives these Pokemon, consider yourself the lucky ones. Oh wait, I should save that comment for the last box. It's kind of in its own league. Alright, that's the Quaxley box. Quite a few EVs, I noticed. Not much else. No repeats either. The first one had Tauros. Some other randos. The Fuecoco one had Slitherwing. But this one, not much. I won't be doing this box anymore on stream. I'll just do it away. But I guess it's time. The fourth bag. Iron bundles. The robot Santa invasion. And here's another fun thing. Each one of these has an experience candy large. So if a starting trainer gets this, it's basically a head start. Of course, the starting trainer will have disobedience issues if they want to start with this. I was almost tempted to do just Birds, but I figured this one would be more fun. Last box. Merry Christmas! It's really funny how one of the weakest Pokemon in Pokemon history ends up getting a variation that's utterly powerful. Hey Jackson. Hope you like your Robo Santa. Oh my. I get the feeling this one's a beginner. Or not, if that's a Japanese squirrel. Next one. Straight from Xi'an. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. And fun thing, while I was catching all those iron bundles, I ended up getting a second shiny near the end. I'll let you see it later. Next up is Santa-san. How appropriate. The Santa bot for Santa-san. Now that I'm doing this, I guess I should renew Pokemon Home sometime. That way when the update rolls, I can put all of the excess Pokemon in Home. Haven't touched Home for like a year. Oh, Salamence! Although Salamence is already a Violet, I think Salamence is Violet exclusive. Since Growing Moon is Scarlet? I forgot to tell who sent it. My bad. Yuki-kun. Dozo. And I get another cat. I wonder how these people will react to seeing Robot Delibird. Regular Delibird again is comically weak, but Iron Bundle probably one of it's an incredible special sweeper. High speed among the Paradox Pokemon, including the legendaries. Powerful ice and water type moves, including Ruja? That Ruja? I'm not too familiar with my hiragana, so might be Ruja, could be Soja. I'll look up that particular character. But anyway, Iron Bundle is hilarious because it's what Delibird wants to be. Oh, and it gets freeze dry. Not even the water types are safe now. I cannot pronounce that. I won't even try. This Pares. Evidently not yours. This is a Nimble from N1. Kuripochi. Oh no, it's Kuribochi, not Pochi. Anyway, enjoy your Robo Santa. I didn't bother nicknaming anymore because nicknaming would drain precious sandwich time. Yeah, I herba farmed for them. Ringo-chan. Here we go again. Arigato na, Ringo-chan. That's the second Delibird. From Ryan. with an A between after the R. Then a Japanese Azura. Third of the way there. This one's going to Maria. Hi, HY. The lighting made that Pichu look shiny. Alright, next one. Third, fifths of the way in. I didn't catch that, but I caught the boss go something. Boss go Rira. You missed one of your parentheses. You had one extra character to close the bracket. Boss Gorilla. Not much point in that anymore. Oh. Once I'm done with the iron bundles, I'll go to sleep already. Have to go back to hell tomorrow. But I'll find a way out. I promised this to myself a long time. Next is Achi. Oh yeah, I didn't say the nickname. It's Warayama? Not sure, I don't know what that means, but... Okay. After this one, I'll be at the halfway point of the iron bundles. Bundle. Next one is... You. Something. I missed it. Oh, thanks for the Rotom. It's... You... I didn't catch that. Ergana's weak again. You're from... You may. I see a fellow Hololive enjoyer, I guess. Sorry, my hiragana is particularly weak compared to katakana. Next is Mai. Now it's my Quaxley. My Quas. Oh. Oh, it's another Mai. Except it's hiragana this time. It's gonna be Mai Fuecoco. Mai Hogeta. Oh no, it's Fuecoco, not Hogeta. Next up is Johnny. Could you Johnny be good and give me something good? Ah. Very funny. These iron bundles in circulation. Pinks would be interesting. Rimar. And in the Japanese font. A Bagon? That's a Pokemon that I have a hard time figuring out the pronunciation. Maybe it's Bagon because it's a baby dragon? I always pronounced it as Bagon. But again, it might be Bagon because it's baby dragon. Again, this is the guy who pronounced Rayquaza and Blaziken. Come on, I was an idiotic kid back then. Now I'm an idiotic adult. Or maybe an idiotic man-child. Here you go, Aoi. Give me something blue, I guess? Oh well. Almost there. Another Fue Coco. I didn't catch who sent it. It's unpronounceable. Sorry if I can't read Chinese. Kanji and Chinese by extension are kind of out of my league. This one's going to Banana Nida. Tommy. And it's Tyke. Something tells me it's... No, you're English. A shame about that nature. Wait. Getting the wrong nature doesn't bother me anymore since I can just get a mint. I know some people are purists and want their Pokemon to have optimal nature from birth. I'm not particularly picky about that. IVs might be a Akari. Enjoy your Santa bird. Santa bot. So far, nothing particularly interesting. This lineup, it's only Rotom and the Salamence. Wait, oh, this is probably one of those Salamence from the Terra Raid event a few weeks ago. I didn't bother with that one. Didn't seem too special. Seven more. 7 more, I can do this. So sleepy. Thing with this country is the Christmas meal is at midnight. Oh hey, hi Knight. You're not a mid. Thanks for the bread. Outsul. Outsul. Even the Japanese name sounds German. I was talking about how I always pronounce it Daxbun. Now it's Bautzir. It's definitely meant to have a bit of a German accent to it. Six more, almost there. Next is Nate. Genovian, I guess? Of course it's a Delibird. Nosuke. As in Torinosuke. Thanks for the dolphin. Oh, you're competitively bred. Sort of. Next is Yoso. Doro. Yoso. And another Quacks. Just had to adjust my mic a bit. So as I mentioned earlier, all of these iron bundles also come with an EXP candy large. So to anyone who's just starting out, hope you like the extra power boost. Next is Shigumo. Not exactly a common name. This will probably be my last stream of 2022. Unless on New Year's Eve I'm doing the Cinderace thing. I could probably do that. Next is Meron. And now, the final Iron Bundle. Who's gonna be our extra lucky? Shun. Shouldn't be too long now. Ha 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 ha. Of course, I should have expected that. With that, that's all 4 of the boxes I surprise traded. $120 Pokemon traded. This box definitely has the most starters. And it has quite a few Delibirds. All of them Japanese. There's also a Rotom, a Boutzil, and a Salamence. Definitely one of the more interesting. Oh. Here's the other Iron Bundle. Yeah, definitely one of the standouts. With that, my role as a Secret Santa is done. I hope everyone who got my surprise traded Pokemon enjoy using them. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. My next stream will likely be on New Year's Eve. Till then, see you around.